But Jesus is the greatest man I know. Let's sing together this morning. It's a very simple song. You can sing it with us this morning. We just want to make a declaration in the room. Can you clap your hands with us? Dallas Project, I hope you can catch along. And catch it, it's real simple. Those watching at home online, I want you to sing with us as well. It's a very simple declaration that we lift up in the room this morning. Simply says, Jesus is the great